IPv6 address structure. The most basic structure of the IPv6 address is the division of the address into some number of bits for the subnet prefix and some number of bits for the interface identification. The interface ID could use as many bits as are left over after subtracting the network bits from the 128 bits available in the overall address. But in practice, the interface ID is always 64-bit. This because address auto-configuration mechanisms rely on a 64-bit host portion and these mechanisms can be break if one tries to configure any subnets longer than 64 bits. But in practice, we have special use cases where the interface ID is less than 64 bits. If the interface ID is 64 bits length, the subnet prefix is 64 bits length, and the IPv6 address is notated as /64. This is what we call CIDR notation. CIDR notation, or classless interdomain routing notation, is a compact representation of an IP address and its associated routing prefix. Now, how do we obtain a global routable prefix? The Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, IANA, is the centralized global authority that allocates all IP addresses to the Regional Internet Registries, RIR. There are 5 regional registries, RIR, correlating roughly to 5 of the 7 continents. For example, here we can see ARIN, which is American Registry for Internet Numbers for North America, and RIPE for Europe, as well as the Middle East and part of the Central Asia. Asia Pacific Network Information, APNIC, for Asia and Oceania. LACNIC, which is Latin American and Caribbean Network Information Center. This is for Latin America. And finally, we have African Network Information Center, AFRINIC, which is for responsible for assigning IP addresses to Africa. Now, each RIR in turn allocates IP address blocks to ISP, or what we call Local Internet Registry, LIR. So we can obtain this global routable prefix either from RIR or from LIR. Yes. A global routable prefix allocations are 2 types: provider independent, PI, and provider assigned, PA. PI allocations are portable, meaning they can be announced and routed via any ISP. They are assigned by the RIR directly to an organization. So PI is obtained from Regional Internet Registry directly, while PA are assigned by the ISP, LIR, and must be returned to them if switching to a new ISP. And this is required. This requires actually network renumbering. It is important to know before selection between PA or PI, it is important to know your organization. Is it single-homed or multi-homed? Single-homed means connecting to a single ISP, and multi-homed means connecting to more than one ISP. This is important because the multi-homed organization, for redundancy, must have portable PI allocations. So they must go to RIR to assign themselves a global routable prefix. But an organization that is single-homed typically receives a non-portable provider assigned PA assignment from an ISP. So for single-homed, we can go to PA, and for multi-homed, we should go actually for PI. Now, for the interface ID, this is the second part of this structure, of the IPv6 address structure. There are multiple ways to assign the interface ID or to assign the IPv6 address. Number one, static address assignment. This is manual assignment. Number two, stateless address assignment. And we have two types in this assignment: the stateless address configuration, or what we call SLAC, and stateless DHCPv6. Actually, this feature or this assignment is a unique feature only to IPv6 protocol. The stateless address configuration means that the client picks their own address based on the prefix being advertised on their connected interface. All common devices have the ability to participate in stateless auto-configuration, address auto-configuration, which is SLAC for short. By default, SLAC does not provide anything to the client outside of an IPv6 address in a default gateway, and a default gateway actually. A stateless DHCPv6, this is the second type of stateless address assignment, in which the DHCP server does not track IPv6 address bindings per client. Rather, it uses DHCP only to hand out domain names, DNS servers, and other client relevant information. The third type of assignment is the stateful address assignment, or stateful DHCPv6. This is similar to IPv4. DHCPv6 can use DHCP to statefully assign IP addresses to any client. The stateful DHCPv6 means that the DHCP server is responsible for assigning the IP address to the clients, and it keeps a record of all clients and the IPv6 addresses that have been assigned to them. That's why we call it stateful. It keeps information about the client, while stateless does not.